Hey family, it's Tasha MamaBear Prepping. You already know what time it is. Get your drink, pull up, let's talk about it. So today I want to talk about something that I've been experiencing lately myself, and it's a big topic amongst you and for anybody that stockpiles. It is a challenge at times to figure out storage, right? Figuring out where can I hide stuff? Where can I put stuff? How can I get space for more stuff? I've done videos on this several times, but I think it's important, especially when you move. But this is something you can do just now. You don't have to move to do this, but moving or during the time of moving is a time that I actually think about this more, because you have a fresh, clean space, you have new spaces, and you're trying to figure out where to put stuff in general. But when you are somebody who stockpiles food, water, medicine, various stuff, stuff for livestock, all this stuff, finding those cubby holes, finding those spaces that make sense for storage. So when we think about storage too, there's some things that I like to think about. I like to think about sturdy shelving. Plastic shelving is not ideal unless you're putting very light stuff on it, like toilet paper, tampons, very light things like that. Maybe cutlery and paper plates and stuff like that, right? Napkins, baby wipes, maybe just some of your lighter stuff can absolutely go on some sturdy plastic shelving. But ideally you're going to want metal, or you're going to want wood, or even building wood shelving, and finding those places that have shelving. You might have spaces like built-ins in your home and have a lot of storage already, so taking advantage of that and figuring out where's your main everyday pantry going to be. Ideally, normally that's by the kitchen, right? But figuring out what works for you. For some people, you have some stuff in the kitchen maybe, but their working pantry is in a different room or in the basement or whatever, right? And so you're going to figure out what works for you. Some people take a totally empty room, get shelving, and make that into a pantry for everything that they have. Now, when it comes to storage, I'm a big fan of diversifying as far as where stuff is at. I like a little bit of everything all over the house. I like a little bit of everything in all different storage areas that I have. So whether I have different buildings, different outbuildings, different storage units, whatever, even different parts of the house, right? Maybe some upstairs, maybe stuff in the attic, maybe stuff in the basement, whatever it is you have. I like that idea of storing stuff that way as well, because it's diversity. A tree falls on the house, you have everything in one room, and the tree fell and hit that room, and now everything is destroyed. That's what I mean, right? And if you have some stuff kind of stored all over, you help yourself in that way, possibly. Think about furniture. I'm a huge advocate of furniture. Going to Habitat for Humanity, grabbing a dresser, putting it somewhere, putting it up against a wall or in a corner, in a closet, in a little room. So many places you can fit a dresser, and all different sizes of dressers, and then filling them with stuff, right? Shelving above, an empty space, and closets above closets, right? Typically a closet will have maybe one shelf above where you hang your clothes, maybe two if you're lucky, but there's typically all types of dead space to where you can have other shelving, more shelving built in, and you could add totes of stuff up there as well. So think about that. Also, the sides of closets a lot of times have dead space where you can actually maybe stack up totes or have some kind of small dresser for storage, right? That you can put in these nooks and crannies without taking away your space for your shoes and your clothes and all that stuff. So when people always, I get a lot of emails about people asking about storage. How do you do it? I only have a small apartment. We've lived in many places. As we were in the military, we lived in many apartments. Small places, right, at times. And yeah, were we limited in what we could do? Absolutely. It takes a lot of creativity to figure out what to do. If you even visit different storage, like even go into Pinterest and just type in storage ideas, how to storage, you'll get all types of ideas, and you can figure out and take yourself to Dollar Tree or dollar store or a cheaper store and figure out how to come up with that storage that you need, using baskets and different cheaper storage items, right? Especially spaces like under sinks and with organizing stuff in closets, right? Closets are hard if you don't have like a built-in thing, but if you throw in a dresser in there and then you have some shelves and then you just, before you know it, you have a lot of stuff that you can fit into a small space. Also furniture, you know, a bed, don't give up on a bed. A bed underneath the bed, depending on what type of bed you have, can fit all types of stuff, right? So think about that when you're trying to find space, you're trying to do stuff. I'm a big fan of furniture pieces that have storage built in. So beds that have storage built in, dressers, trunks. A huge fan of hutches and armoires. I'm a fan of armoires also opposed to, I like shelving, I like open shelving, but think about armoires in the sense if you are anywhere that is earthquake bound, you're going to have an earthquake one day. I like the idea of doors that shut. Think about if you own your home, where are walls? I bet you there's all types of places that you could do built-ins, and you could do that stuff. You know, you don't have to buy, there's hacks, you know, you can do IKEA shelving and cabinetry and get that and then build upon that and do your own built-ins. But where can you do built-ins if you own your house, right? And you're able to do that type of construction? Where can you do built-ins? How can you do built-ins in workshops and your garage and maybe your attic, right? There's just, sky's the limit on what you can do and how you can store stuff. And sometimes it just takes a minute of figuring out where to rehome stuff. Maybe it's getting rid of stuff, but maybe it's rehoming stuff in your own home, moving stuff that doesn't make sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense for it to be in the house. It's something that could be outside or in the workshop or in the garage that you can then move there, and then that will make space in your home for the other stuff, right? So storage is tricky, but I would venture that even somebody who has a very, very small place and it's only rental, yes. Are you limited? Yes. But you can do it. And you can do it in a way where you're hiding stuff. And let's say the maintenance man that comes, you know, every month to check something isn't able to just willy-nilly see stuff. That's why I'm a fan. Let's say you had an apartment and you had an extra bedroom, you had an extra space, and you're like, I want to turn it into, you know, some sort of storage pantry, right? But you're like, I don't want them to come in and be like, this weirdo's got a whole pantry, a whole store in her extra bedroom. You know, what is this? It's weird. And now you have a target on you. They know exactly what you have, whatever. Imagine taking instead, because you can't do built-ins, but you could do your own built-ins, if you will, with a wall of hutches. You could do 2 big hutches on one side with a dresser in the middle, put a TV above it, maybe put a bed in there. You know how much you can fill in that dresser and those 2 hutches. That's crazy. Or if it's not a hutch, armoires that are totally closed. They're not even glass. You can't see through them at all. You've got these 2 beautiful large armoires and the largest dresser you can find to go between them. Put a TV above it, have a bedroom. Now you have a guest bedroom, but that guest bedroom has a wall that is full of pantry that you could just have full of food and stockpile and toiletries and all of that stuff. And that's just one room, one space, one wall that looks normal, right? And if you are somewhere that has an apartment and you have, you know, people coming in all the time, and possibly when you're not there and they're like, what's up? You can put locks on that stuff, right? Does it maybe look weird if the construction guy or maintenance guy's like, everything's locked up? Not really, because look, you're a stranger coming into their home, right? They don't trust anybody. Oh, they're nervous about people stealing stuff, right? So it's not that weird when you think about it like that, right? Storage though, you know, this is on my mind right now with a new house and trying to figure out what makes sense for us, where to put stuff, you know, where do built-ins make sense, where, you know, where does totes make sense, what do I have already, and then going from there and building that up. But if you're already established somebody somewhere and you know that you're struggling and stuff's not organized, first of all, if you're not organized, that messes up the flow of any kind of storage system anyway, because if you're not organized, you have stuff thrown around, that's a problem. The other thing too is when you're buying stuff, you need to get in the habit of putting it where it belongs, in the right way, and not just keeping stuff all over the place, because before you know it, you're hoarding now. You don't even know what you have. You don't know how much of it you have it all over. So now you're not sure where stuff's at, especially if an emergency happens and you need it. It just doesn't, it's not going to work, right? and it's not going to work in a conducive way for your storage space and actually being able to keep the most of said product that you can in whatever said place. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful for those of you that wanted some more information about storage and storage options. This is something that I've absolutely been thinking about myself and working on ourselves as we move forward. So it was an easy video to do. So I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please support your girl. Think about supporting us. Give us a like, give us a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye.